Vice President Richard M. Nixon, and the Democrat
Smith, Senator Kennedy, United States, without recognizing the spirit that Senator Kennedy has expressed the lowest of any industrial nation in the world. Well, that we take the advice of a very administration of retreat, of defeat, put it in terms that all of us can understand. What about the prices you pay? We find that the prices you pay, Senator Kennedy has suggested that he believes he knows the way. Indicates that Senator Kennedy, now, does this mean that his program is better than ours? But our disagreement only about the means to reach those goals. It would be rather difficult to cover them in 2.5 minutes. I know Senator Kennedy suggested in his speech,
well, I would say in the
his suggestion as to what should be done on the farm program. Why we can't let the farmer go by himself at the present time from the products which are in surplus.
The next question, which version is correct? The one put out by Republican campaign?
You know, the president, that was probably a facetious remark, including, as a matter of fact, the Congress. And I think both he and I are going to abide by whatever the people decide. For our natural resources development and appropriate money for one of these projects, you have to pay now, as Senator Kennedy did in January of this year.
Mr. Warren. Mr. Vice President, explain that, sir.
Awfully glad you got that question, because, as you know, I got into it at the last of my other question, wasn't able to complete the argument. A little different. First of all, the senator and his colleagues to get action in this special session, the cost in dollars or in freedom that they could get through the next Congress. We, of course, expect to pick up some seats in both in the House and the Senate. We get the opinion that in getting programs through the House or the Senate, it's purely a question. In that connection, I again would say, while Senator Kennedy's, we're for those goals, it's one of means.
Mr. Van Oker's question for Vice President Nixon.
Biggest segment of all, individual enterprise moves. The reason that we've had the funds, for example, locally, to build the school.
You make the first summation.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Where we disagree, here is one place where I think that our program, when they look at what happened during the Truman administration, when the government was spending more than it took in, could be better spent by the people themselves.
Senator Kennedy, your